How's it everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Sanctum Gamer here, and we are back once again in Coral Reeches, ready to continue the expansion that we have been doing over the last while. In the last video, we started shipping up the sea line down by the main city over here, and today I want to continue with this expansion with a couple of, I don't know what they call that, I forget the name, but I want to extend out a little bit off of these areas to try and see if I can give this place a little bit of life. I don't like how smooth and uneventful it looks, so I want to try and bring a couple of things off of these areas to see if I can either extend the park or create little commercial extensions, find some buildings that will look some nice kind of way and put them in and around all of this space. And then I'm hoping that I can come and shape up this place and get this beach that I've been talking about for quite a while in, see how I will develop all of this road networks and stuff in and around this area, and just try and get the entire place blended in as beautifully as I can. But to start things off, what I do want to do is that I want to see if there's a way in which I can extend this park right out into the sea a little bit, to try and see if I can get a little more green over on this side, maybe a little one over on this side, and something that then incorporates itself into all of this area. So I want to start off, I want to grab my terraforming tool. We're going to lower the brush size a bit. This is going to be an experiment, so you know, if you see in this video, it means the experiment worked. If you don't see this video, it means the experiment did not work. But let's see. But the idea is I want to bring out a little piece of land, so nothing too hectic, at least in this area, because I think if I can get some green spaces popping out over and into the water, it will make the whole place look a little bit nicer. At least that is what I'm thinking. So let me try and see if I can get some of this stuff going. Now around here, what I was thinking is that if I can get myself a nice path, and I think it can connect, right? Oh, why is it telling me that there's water? You know, a mistake I always make is I always make the mistake of not making the land big enough, and I want to make it the exact size, forgetting that once I'm done I can just reclaim all that land back. Anyways, let's get a road out over on this side, maybe a little bit wider since I've got all of the space, and then go and meet it up to this side as well. Now if I can connect that, then what I'm kind of curious about is, do I have, can I change this? Yes, I can. Great. So I can remove the key here, and then put the key over on this side of the path, right? And then I can now go back to my terraforming tool, grab this, and I think I'm gonna need to lower the brush size to the smallest, because this is going to be quite finicky and delicate, to see if I can get this going all the way back without it looking too weird, because I want something that is nice and thin, but at the same time, you know, when you have to remove all of the land so close to it, it generally doesn't work so well, and that's the only bummer about this, because then you end up getting this little clipping, well, not clipping, but you see how it works out over here when it's so when the land is so thin, it doesn't. Okay, let me see if I can just clean these up a little bit. So this is what I wanted to try out. So I wanted to make it look like our park is getting extended out into the sea, and I think it kind of blends in. It gives it a nice visual appeal that does stand out a little bit more. And I figured I would put these stones here just to make this place look like it's not natural. I guess it is a bit man-made, so it's been extended out into the sea, but it wasn't there naturally, if I should put it like that. I think that's the sort of look that I want to try and get over here, and in the end I think that looks pretty good. I've got a building that's missing here from the last video, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was this type of building that I had in this corner. I wonder what happened to it. What happened to my building? No, it wasn't this. It was a slightly smaller building. Let's see if I can find the building that was here. It looks like it was a 5x5 building, and it had clipped into the road a little bit, which probably explains why it sort of disappeared. I'm guessing because it had that little clip. So I'm gonna have to change this building to something else, and I have no idea what. Let's see what I can find quickly. This EU commercial 4x4 will probably have to do. It's not as tall as the previous one, but it does the job. I can stick it down and then I can just modify its color, because I believe I wanted this building to be a sort of whitish color for it to stand out. What happens at the back here? Gosh, you know, this is the problem with these things. When you do it and then something like this happens, you just don't know what to put thereafter. But all right, there we go. I think that's a bit better. That blends in nicely. It's not quite the previous building, but it will have to do. So with that done, what I want to do is that I want to expand this area into this space. I want this park to come across and sort of come into this place, and then try and get one or two commercial buildings off of this key that's extending out over onto this side. I can't remember what these things are, like little piers almost sort of thing. But first, let's extend the greenery over into this area, and then I'm going to try and put just a couple of commercial shops in and around that space, and see if I can just get the whole place looking a little bit nicer than it currently does. right, let's just pause and see how this place is shaping up. So I've managed to get this park coming out into the water quite nicely. I really like this little extension in. And then now we've got a bit of commercial that is starting to take shape around here. Provides commercial needs to these houses that are over here. And I always forget to do this. So let's just go mark. Ooh, why am I not? There we go. Come on, mark and same color. There we go. So now I've got a couple of things in. I had somebody mention in the previous video that they don't see enough gas stations around the city, which I thought was such a valid point that I had to start including a few more gas stations all over the place. And so now we've got this gas station which is extremely green, which I'm not a big fan of. We can make it maybe a bit yellower. I think a bit yellower is better. Yellow is a better color. There we go. So we've got that sort of stuff going, and what I want to do is that I want to have maybe 1 or 2 more piers that sort of extend out in various places like over here and also within the space. So we're going to go and do very similar over here, but I'm going to keep this side a little bit more concrete and not have as much greenery, because I want this to be more of the rundowns. Well, not rundown, but more of the city vibes, where everything is just pure concrete and it's not as lavish a living area as this space over here. So that's what I'm thinking for this space right here when I get to it. But I was also looking at this thing. So I looked for, I think, the harbor asset some time ago, right? And if you look at this one, you get this extra pier asset, which I think is pretty cool. So now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I can grab this, right? And I can put it, let's say, over on this side. If we can just get down a little bit closer, maybe rotate it so that it's well lined up, and I can put it like right here. Now it's not serving any function, but look how beautiful that looks. I think this adds so much dynamism to this landscape. And then I can try and add a few more things in and around this place that can just give this place a little bit more life. Like if I rotate this one around and bring it down, and we try and line it up nicely so that it looks like, you know, you can just walk down this area. Then I can use the same asset in 2 different ways. And here I go. Boom. Bob's your uncle. We've got a nice looking pier type things that are extending off of here. And then we build 1 or 2 that are more functional with shops and stuff. Maybe I will try and see if I can connect it with footpaths in between these, and then we just get the place looking like it's getting a little bit of activity. We're getting people walking in and around the entire space, and I think this looks really good. And if I had things like boat assets and stuff like that, I could probably put a couple in and around here and build a proper marina and stuff like that. But for now, I mean, I love the way that looks from afar. It just makes the whole place look a whole lot better with a little bit more life. I wonder if I can't even put 1 more over on this side, this time rotated the other way, so that it looks like, you know, this place also has a bit of activity, and we can bring it right up to where the road ends over on this side. And man, that also gives it quite a bit of life. Now, whether or not I can change the colors, which I can, yes. So I can make this seem a little bit more ragged, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, there we go. This is all right. And with this, can I give it, where does the color pop? Oh, there it is. So because we've got all of that green forest stuff going on over here, maybe I can have this one be a little bit greener, and then that should stand out also a little bit more. It's a bit too bright though, but there, I think that's pretty cool. But the gray on top here, I think it's a little bit much, and the white is also a little bit much. But now I can try and see what I can do about detailing all of this and try and get it all to fit in something that, ooh, I think we can make this stuff look good, guys. I really think we can. Alrighty, let's take a look at where we are at. It looks like my terraforming has left. It has left this thing that I just put here looking a little bit wonky. Not only that, it's like it's rotated. Look at that. It's like it's rotated. Is it possible to... It's got a rotation thingamabob. I'm not sure which axis this is. This is... Let's see. Which way is which? Oops. Not that way. Can we try this way? Nope. Not that way. And this way. Yes, this is the way. But... It's weird. It's weird. I'm not about to fight with this right now, so let's remove it. I saw this asset as I was browsing and I thought it looked pretty cool, and it's something that would be nice to have in this area. It gives the place an interesting look. You know, it's like a little gateway into this space, and maybe this is a better place to put it, like at the entrances into these areas. And then it just gives this entire space that nice upmarket kind of look, right? I mean, look at that. I think that is pretty cool. All right, so let's see where we are at. So we've been building out. So we built out this park on the water, which is a bit of an extension again from the side. So I'm trying to carry this bright green a little bit throughout this entire area, and we're probably gonna see a little bit of it this side. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll see once I get there. And then I built out all of these piers type of things that are coming out into the water. I was trying to play around, mainly using the commercial assets. I had in my head thought these commercial assets were bigger than what they actually are. But in the end, I realized that I can achieve the slightly longer looking ones if I put one functional building and then use the static ploppables behind it like that. Then I don't have to worry about them getting road connections. And I think this longer look is much better, and it's something that I would want to convert these into this, but you know what, that area has already been built, so we'll leave it. We're about to do some work on this side as well, so maybe I will employ that kind of stuff in this space. So now with this done, I want to transition over into this side and try and shape up the land a little bit in this space, and then see how I can get all of these roads to blend together and just bring everything, you know, to a nice looking way. I'm hoping I can fill this entire area in this video, but let's see. We're gonna start off in this corner here. I'm gonna start with just some landscaping, try and line things up, make it as symmetrical as possible, and then just try and get this entire place looking a nice kind of way. All right, let's just take a quick pause, and I've managed to bring the park all the way through to this side, which I think is actually not too shabby. I really like it. And as I look down on it, I'm thinking to myself that I'm going to grab this and I'm going to convert this one also into the super bright one. Moving into this space, I'm going to be transitioning into heavy development. So we're going to have lots of residential and commercial all in this space, and I am still torn between whether or not to make it look upmarket or a little bit rundown. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe make the ones that sit close to the water more upmarket, and then as we move away from here into more of the land area, we make it a little bit more rundown. I will have to see. But so far so good. This is what the place is looking like. I'm liking this theme over here, so I'm thinking I'm going to try and carry quite a bit of this theme throughout this area. It won't be everything, but the odd building here and there will have this theme of white with red roofs, and I think it's going to complement the place very, very nicely. In order to get vehicles using this space, using the parking lot, using the paths and stuff like this, the plan is that I'm gonna make this into slightly more heavy development, just to drive a little bit more traffic into this place, and then it'll look like there are cars parked here and people using the beach and so on. So I'm probably not gonna have a lot of parking in the developments that I do here, so as to drive most of the people into this space. You know what? The more I look at this, the more I think I will rather upgrade this into the road, pedestrian only road. I think that will make a little bit more sense, right? So I want to get rid of this piece because it's kind of weird actually. If I can get rid of this piece, let's get rid of a couple of these trees just so that I can see what I'm doing. And over on this side, get rid of this. Come on, there we go. I think it will make a little more sense if I can convert this area into one of these. Let's enable Anarchy again. I just want to make sure that everything works out properly. I think over there, then I can bring it over and connect it up to here. I think this will be a little bit better because then I can go ahead now and we can grab, what's this thing called? The retaining wall, convert that into a retaining wall. Here we go. I think this looks better. I think this is a better option for me. It's nice and wide, and then all of this will be beach. And the reason I wanted to do that is because it allows me to easily then come in and then bring the land out a little bit further without you seeing any weird glitches and stuff on the side of the road on this side. So there we go. I think this is good. This looks very, very nice. At some point, if I can, I might build like steps coming down various places and stuff, but that's a problem for another day. Everybody, I think we are ready to expand out on this area. We're gonna go into a time lapse now, which might see me fill out all of this space until the end of the video, but let's see how it goes. And let's get before I do that, if anybody knows how to get rid of the shadows, I remember seeing a clip somewhere, can't remember where, on how to remove shadows on this thing, what is this thing? The retaining walls, because they look kind of weird and funky and ugly. So if anybody knows how to get rid of them, please let me know so that I can remove them and hopefully get this all looking nicer. All right, that's it. Let's get building. Alrighty, we are done. I have managed to fill out a lot of this area. The beach at least is looking very good, I think. And I've put some invisible paths there. Hopefully we should be seeing people walking in and about on the beachfront. And then of course we've got all of the parasols and all the seatings, which I'm sure it's not lined up nicely, but you know what, who cares? From afar it looks good. It looks like it's a very active. I had wanted to fill in all of this space as well, but all of this took way longer than I thought. I think this is almost a 10-minute time lapse this is going to convert into, but you know what, it's fine. It was worth it. Along the water is done. We got a couple of these also in where, you know, got some commercial, basically close to all of the people. But the only thing that I've noticed is that the parking lots are extremely empty when compared to when I built parking lots in this area. And I noticed that it's because of this chappie over on this side. So as I was building all of these places, I saw a lot of the people were arriving through the harbor, and then they were walking along the road and coming into all of these places, which probably explains why a lot of the parking spaces are empty and we don't see that flood of cars coming in like we do when I was building over on that side. But I think for today, everybody, this is going to do. I think we have detailed around this water area very, very nicely. I'm not the biggest fan of this place. I'm thinking of rather getting rid of maybe this and then letting this also be a nice funky shape as opposed to a hard cut. But you know what, that will be a problem for another day. I think for today we are good. And if you notice as well, my population has tanked, hey, since the end of the last video until now. We went from 200,000 down to 186,000 population. And guess what the consequence of that is? Look at that. A lot of my my not enough customers is almost all but gone. And I don't know if this population decline was the game balancing itself out since the update, and now we are at this point where everything is balancing out a little bit better, and now things are starting to look a whole lot better than they did before. So this is looking good. I'm very happy. Love the way this is turning out. This is it. We are good. We are done. I love the way this is turning out, and I can't wait to fill in all of the space in and around this entire area. If you enjoyed today's build, please be sure to give the video a like. Hit the subscribe button if you've been here a while and you haven't done so already. And don't forget to turn on all of the notifications so you do not miss a single video going forward. Big thanks to all of my patrons and YouTube members for all the extra support you continue to choose to show the channel. It is truly, truly appreciated. Enjoy the cinematics, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Cheers, everybody.